Good evening with my dogs barking like crazy. This is a video, and yeah, I'm not wearing my ULM stuff. I'm wearing my Jacksonville State stuff. Go Gamecocks. Anyhow, I want to tell you a story about an experience I had this past week on campus. I happened to be walking across campus to do a grade change. Faculty have to do it in person and go straight over to the administration building, retrieve the form, fill it out, take it to the dean's office, have them approve it, and then physically faculty have to walk it back to the registrar's office. So I was in the process of starting that venture and was right between where the Warhawk statue is, that green space, and Walker Hall. So I'm walking on the sidewalk, and I notice there's this gentleman, as I'm approaching him, is getting up from one of that little maroon bench, and he's on a walker, and obviously very elderly. And because he's creeping along, at least it seemed that way. When I got to his side, getting ready to pass by him with several other folk, a couple of students looks like, walking past him that were in front of me, I stopped because this gentleman looked like he was truly struggling. And so I asked, sir, is there something I can help you with? And he said, I'm trying to get to the Council on Aging. I need to get me some food. And I said, oh my, where are you coming from? And have you anyone who can get transportation for you that I can help you with? Maybe call. And he said, well, I've got my daughter, but she doesn't really want to be bothered. And my sister that really is, she's a good person, but she's real busy all the time. And so I just don't think I could be calling her right now. And I asked where he was coming from. And he said, well, I stay over off Desert Street. So he had walked all the way from Desert Street to our campus. I'm talking like Desert Street down almost by the river. And so he was headed to the Council of Aging, another 1.5 miles at least, if not another 2 miles. And so I said, well, I'm headed over to a building here with some work I need to take care of, and I'll be happy to call someone for you. And when I come back out, which will be pretty quick, I'll look for you and let you know what I find out. So I did that, went to the registrar's office, got the form, filled it out, dropped it off at the dean's office, and promptly called his sister, who he did finally give me the number. His sister, however, said that she really was frustrated with him because he won't help her at all, help him. That she really was his only source of help because his daughter had 4 kids and just really wasn't available to him like she could be, but was bound by her children, of course, and was not very wealthy, didn't have the means to be providing her father food or transportation in addition to her kids, it sounded like, both from this gentleman's sister's story as well as from him. Because when I came back out to tell him what I had found out from his sister, that she was not able to help right away, but that I would see what else I could do for him, he began to really talk sort of incoherently, but not in a way that he wasn't obviously attempting to make sense, at least to himself. He rambled a lot, talked about how he had broken his hip, how he had a port. A port is, some of you may know if you've had experiences with family members with nutritional problems or really nutritional problems from cancer, where they're also getting intravenous treatment, but it's by a tube that they are implanted, and you can actually see it bulge a little bit, as I could in his neck, where he had this port in order to help him with his condition, which he didn't fully reveal, at least not in a clear way. So he said he was used to getting help from the Council on Aging, the Watchdog Council on Aging, on Parand. And he said, but COVID had everybody not able to provide transportation out of Council on Aging, which was very coherent, and that he just soon walked to get what he needed, and he would just walk over there and they would have to take him home. So I said, well, sir, let me see about contacting Council on Aging. So I contacted the Council on Aging, standing right there, and was talking to a couple of ladies, one of whom was the director of the Council on Aging on Ferrand. And that was Miss Brenda. And Miss Brenda said that, oh yeah, we know Mr. So-and-so, and he's a pistol. He likes things his own way. And we try to help him out, but he knows we can't provide transportation except in the bus. We don't do one-on-one anymore because of the COVID, and we deliver food to him, but he likes to get out and just walk anyway. And I said, well, he says he's had hip surgery, and he obviously is under some kind of treatment, because he showed me the port in his neck. And, he seems like he's struggling a bit here. He's trying to now get to the bus station, he tells me. And I'm saying all of this in front of him, and he's saying, yep, yes, ma'am. And I said, I called him Mr. C. I said, so Mr. C, let me tell you that Miss Brenda is saying that if you can get there, she will make sure that someone can get you home. So he said, okay. And so I hung up with him, and I said, let me call campus police, because they may know how they can help you. They may even be able to take you over there. And he said, well, that's right kind of you. Thank you. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And I said, yes, sir, Mr. C, no problem. So I called UPD, University Police Department. And indeed, they said, oh, yeah, somebody's called about him too. And yeah, we're looking for him. And I said, well, he's right here with me. He's headed to the bus station on University by the nursing building. So, I'll just walk with him over there, and you can pick him up there maybe. And they said, sure, we'll be right over. And so that's what happened. What I did not tell Mr. C, however, was that I had some concerns about his physical condition, his reports by his sister, and who sounded very credible, very coherent, and by Miss Brenda, Council on Aging, the director, who said what she said. And I called back after I talked to Miss Brenda and had gotten Mr. C where he needed to be, picked up by the UPD. I called back his sister and said, I really have some concerns about him. Have you thought about contacting Adult Protective Services? Because it doesn't have to be just abuse. It can be exploitation by scammers. It could be people who, aren't able to take care of themselves, but, have a condition that they can't cooperate, or they are really putting themselves at risk. And part of the reason for that I forgot to tell you, is that he also had said that when he broke his hip and had to have hip surgery, that he had fallen out of his bed and laid there for several days before someone came to the house. His daughter finally was the one who came and found him on the floor, where he had not eaten, had not been able to take care of himself, had not been able to get up at all, he said. And indeed, his sister had confirmed that too. So I asked her permission if I could call Adult Protective Services, and that's what I did. And of course, reported back to his sister that that's what I had done, and the rest would be in their hands if they follow through, which I hope they do. I gave her my name, my number, of course, and it also the same for Mr. C, and hoped for the best. So my questions for you are, how would you evaluate how I may have applied some of the concepts in the article about demonstrating respect for elderly clients? Now, this wasn't actually a client per se, but it was someone I encountered and voluntarily felt a responsibility to assist. Also, I'd like you to think about Chapter 3 and the active aging model, particularly on pages 72 through 75, a nice little chart on page 73, so you can scan that. And think about how maybe different entities that I've mentioned that we would use in doing case management or casework with, say, Mr. C, how we would use some of those resources that I've described. Now, this is all for your assignment 4, and what you have on Unit 4 is all that there is. I've got a spot where I'm going to finish a final for you, which you'll be pleased about. Won't be burdensome. And I also have a spot for you to do another quiz, which will be an open-ended. Now, the final will be a one-shot deal, but again, it'll be a nice surprise for you. I get happy when it gets close to Christmas, especially when a new semester, fall semester is ending at Christmas time. So look at that assignment, consider this video, and respond accordingly. Write only in the digital space, and I'll look forward to reading your responses.